We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret society, opposed to secret oaths, opposed to secret proceedings, secret proceedings. No official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.
All right. Welcome back to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. This is episode 4 of May 2nd, 2026. So, as far as the update, just did a little bit of promotional stuff. If you would like to know what I did, it's kind of a loophole. It's legal. It's just somewhat sketchy. Depends on your financial status. It's a gray area. Go check out an Inside Baseball episode. I don't know. It's somewhere along the lines of stamping money for promotional reasons. As long as it is not a business and does not fall under the category of making too much money to where it becomes a business. Yes, it's legal to stamp money to promote things that are non-profit and shit like that. It gets into the whole tax shit. Just go check that episode out. You'll catch my drift of what I just did. Also, I'm setting up an interview. I've already got the interview set up. So you guys know I have a band called, me and another dude have a band called Catching Lizards. We put out like one LP of like 5 tracks. We've only made like 5 songs together. But the band never split up. Like, we never split up. Like, we could still make music, you know. It's not one of our biggest priorities, you know. So I'm still a member of Catching Lizards. But he does his own solo stuff under the name .orbix. Shout outs to him. He does my Blue Pill podcast theme song. And he did my Conspiracy Corner podcast theme song. Bless you. So, my wife sneezed. I don't know if y'all heard that. So I'm going to try to do an interview with him because I haven't interviewed him yet for the channel. As far as just, it would be kind of a purple pill episode because he's a conspiracy theorist too. So we might get into conspiracies, but I think it's going to mostly be a Blue Pill podcast episode of just talking music, talking about our experiences together. Maybe I'm going to try to focus it mostly on him as a solo artist. .orbix, and I always give him shout outs. I always put him in the credits whenever I do put credits on episodes. I always try to give them shout outs and shit. So if you like the Blue Pill podcast theme and you like the Conspiracy Corner theme, he's the one who made it. It's .orbix. Go check him out on YouTube. He's on Spotify too. .orbix on Spotify. But yeah, I'm trying to set up an interview with him. Hopefully tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow. Where my work is slow right now, I'm going to have more days off. So I'm trying to set it up before my Zoom ends. Like, my Zoom, I'm canceling my Zoom account on the 7th. Today's the 2nd, so I got 5 days until Zoom ends. So I've always told you guys too, I link my email within everywhere where you're listening from, my email link is there. So if you guys want to do an interview, now's the time until the 7th before I cancel it, because I don't get much people emailing me. So if you want to do an interview over Zoom, now's the chance. Otherwise, I got to cancel that shit. I'm too poor to keep paying the bill. It's like $20 a month, and I ain't got it right now. I'm car shopping. Speak of the devil, I got a buy me a coffee account set up in the link below. If you donate to the channel, you get a bumper sticker. These things are durable as fuck. I put one on my wife's coffee mug. I've washed that thing 1,000 times. It's held up. And you'll also get a bookmark. I will sign the back unless you don't want me to sign it. If you're a collector or something, or, you know, I'm not famous or nothing, but, yeah. Just hit me up in the comments if you don't want me to sign it. But otherwise, I'm going to sign it and write something cute on it, or something nice on it, you know, depending on my mood. So, we have kind of covered this. We've dabbled in it. I have been saying over the years that I need to do a whole episode on the Ingersoll Lockwood, Barron Trump's Marvelous Adventures, and The Last President novels. Those two novels, and Ingersoll Lockwood. The whole time travel theory of Donald Trump and Barron Trump. I need to cover it. And it ties in with Back to the Future. I've dabbled in it. Like, I did an episode on Donald Trump's uncle with Tesla technology. It's tied in with Elon Musk and Warner von Braun. It's a whole fucking thing. I did like one episode barely scraping at it. And this episode will most likely be barely scraping at it. It's honestly, what it'll become is its own playlist, which I might start. I'm just not ready to like fully jump into it because there's so much current events going on, but this is a current event and it ties in with the whole Ingersoll Lockwood time travel. Is Donald Trump and Barron Trump time travelers? I don't know. Let's jump into it. So I might start a new playlist. Hang on. Speaking of time, there's my alarm clock. Time. Who's got the time? I am White Rabbit, you know. What was I saying? Fuck me, dude. Hang on. Alarm messed me up. Let's just dive in, man. Hold your nose. Dive in. So, I do not keep up with, like, the whole Trump dynasty as much as I should. I know Kushner is his son-in-law. Ivanka is his daughter. Melania is his wife. Barron's his son. But, I mean, like, I used to be a cutard, but I've even said here before, like, I was never, like, a full-blown cutard. I've always kept my head on a swivel. Yes, I was a cutard for a little bit, but it was only like a year. And even then, I was still questioning everything. Like, something seems off. Something seems like this is a psyop, like Operation Trust. But I didn't know about Operation Trust until later. Once I found out about Operation Trust, I went, oh shit, I fell for a psyop. I was slowly delving into a cult. Like, and I started noticing that because I got out of Christianity because I realized it was a cult. So, a cult, not occult. But I realized that I was in a cult of Christianity, so I got the fuck out of there. Same with QAnon. Like, I started realizing this is a cult. Something smells fishy. I got to get out. And even my wife was like, something ain't right. I don't like this whole Q shit. And I should have listened. You know, I honestly, dude, I need to listen to her more because she's usually fucking right. That being said, I don't know the whole dynasty of the Trump family. So Lara, Lara, Lara Trump, whoever the fuck this is, and we'll find out through this article. I watched the actual interview where she's talking about this, so go look it up on YouTube. You can find the actual clip, but I'm going to go through this. Lara Trump addresses wild conspiracy theory about Barron. Quote, I broke a lot of people's hearts today. So a podcaster, okay, Joe Summerlad, who wrote this article, The Lad of Summer, on May Day, 2026, you just say a podcaster addresses. Why don't you mention the podcast? I hate this shit. I've had people steal my shit and use it and never give me credit. There's TikToks out there of people who have clipped apart either short videos that I've made or podcasts that I've made and never put a link to my channel, have never even given me a verbal shout out. I would have been satisfied with a verbal shout out. You know, me and Sammy were both used on a documentary, like an actual big documentary. You have to pay for it to like view it. It's on one of these streaming sites. I can't remember the name of it, but it was a Wizard of Oz conspiracy. It was either a Mandela, because we made 2 short videos, a Mandela one about Wizard of Oz, and we made one about a Munchkin suicide scene. And it was used on an actual documentary, and the lady said, hey, I'm filming a documentary. Do you care if I use your content? I said, as long as you put me in the credits, we're cool. Put me in the credits, like my channel and shit, so people can find me. So that way, if somebody who's watching this mainstream documentary goes, who the fuck is this couple? They seem cool. They can find my shit. It's just it's a rule of thumb, man. Don't steal people's shit without giving them proper fucking credit, dude.
Do you guys remember last?
Sorry, I like the TV light going. It's a little dark in here. It's a courtesy. So this person saying podcaster addresses fantastical online rumor about her brother-in-law who has become a figure of intrigue for fans online. Give him a shout out, dude. You suck, author. Donald Trump's daughter-in-law. So Lara is Donald Trump's daughter-in-law. I didn't know that. Has debunked a wild conspiracy theory relating to the president's youngest son, Barron, comparable to the moon landing being faked or 9/11 was an inside job, which both of those are true. You know. On the latest episode of The Right View with Lara Trump. So, okay. I guess she has her own podcast. The daughter-in-law of Donald Trump, Lara Trump, has her own podcast, The Right View with Lara Trump. I almost want to subscribe and check it out just out of curiosity for shits and giggles. The presenter said she has been immersed in viral videos about her brother-in-law and felt compelled to address one of the outlandish claims on his behalf. The youngest of the president's children, Barron, has shown apparent reluctance to enter the national spotlight, in stark contrast to his father or elder brothers, Don Jr. and Eric Trump. By the way, there's a reason why he's been reluctant to the spotlight. He's special education. I've always had a soft spot in my heart for Barron. Yes, I put out a mean episode the other day about how we should draft him. But I still think we should draft him. If his father wants to go into war with Iran so bad, I still think we should draft Barron Trump. Don't give a fuck if he's special ed and Space Monkey. And by the way, I can say this shit because I was special education. My wife was special education. Just because you're special education doesn't mean you're like full-blown Riri with your arms all drawn up. There's multiple reasons why you can be special education. I was special education for multiple head injuries. You can see the scar right there where I got my head stapled shut. That was my second one when I was an adult. Well, actually, my third one. I've had multiple concussions, multiple head injuries, horrible depression issues, They put me in there because I was a mental case who literally walked around crying 24/7 and staring at the ground. And super shy. Until something got knocked loose, and then I turned into a crazy maniac that you see here today. Before that, I was this puppy-eyed little quiet kid who stared at the ground and didn't say barely anything, you know, and then something got knocked loose. They put me in special education. So I can say this shit without feeling too bad. But I've always had a soft spot for Barron, so for them to be like, he wants to stay out of the spotlight, ain't that weird? Not really. He's special education. He's one of my clan, dude. This has inadvertently caused the 20-year-old to acquire an air of mystery amongst some fans, with one of the most absurd claims being that he is a time traveler. I don't know. Those Ingersoll Lockwood books are really weird, and we covered it in that one episode about Donald Trump's uncle stealing Nikola Tesla's documents after Nikola Tesla died, you know. Like I said, we're going to do a whole series on this one day. Lara Trump discussed the viral video on her show Thursday, marveling at the amount of views that some of these videos got, where they really dissect how this really worked out, only to deliver a sharp dose of reality. Quote, "I'm not trying to ruin anybody or rain on anybody's parades here," she said. "Barron Trump is not a time traveler. Sorry to say, I'm sorry. I broke a lot of people's hearts today." Anytime that someone that mainstream is saying, hey, this conspiracy, don't look at it. It's all fake. It's all bullshit. Anytime it's like being literally on mainstream media, because this was featured on like mainstream news, that's where I saw it. Anytime they're saying, hey, don't look at this, this is bullshit, I start going, oh, so it's probably real. I ain't gonna lie, I always think that the possibility of time travel is definitely real. I kind of think that there's something to the Ingersoll Lockwood conspiracy. I think there's something to Die Glocke. The Germans were building Das Bell, Die Glocke, which was a time travel machine. Hitler was trying to build a time machine. Tesla. I love Tesla. I'm definitely a fan of Tesla rather than fucking Edison. Fuck that dude. He was trying to build time travel machine. He believed in time travel. The whole gray alien conspiracy. I definitely think there's something to the gray alien conspiracy, that the aliens are us from the fucking future traveling back in time. You know? That's us from the future. I think there's something to that, perhaps. So, she says, saying the conspiracy was illustrative of how much really crazy stuff exists online, quote unquote. She challenges her viewers, quote, "Name me one time traveler. Name me anyone who can actually say that that's a real thing. It doesn't exist, but people have gotten so far off the rails. Barron being a time traveler thing. I don't know what to tell you. I think it's crazy. I've known Barron for 18 years. Okay, he's not a time traveler." This is Lara Trump, by the way, if you want to see what she looks like. She's pretty. She's very muscular. She's got high testosterone levels, which means she has a good sex drive. I've always told dudes, I know it sounds weird, but find a girl with a square jaw and hairy arms. Find a girl that has like manly traits. I know this sounds weird. I'm not saying get a dude, obviously, but if you're a heterosexual, find a girl who's slightly manly, because that means they have high testosterone levels, which means they're awesome in the fucking bedroom. This chick's got like muscles and shit and a strong jaw and bushy eyebrows. She's slightly manly. I know it sounds weird, but they're the best ones in the bedroom because they got that sex drive of testosterone flowing through their veins. Just saying. It doesn't exist, but people have gotten so far off the rails on this Barron being a time traveler thing. I don't know what to tell you. I think it's crazy. Okay, we read that. Let's see. She continued saying, I've seen him grow up. It's crazy stuff. But I think people love to grab onto conspiracies or things that are far-fetched like that, she says. The basis for the improbable theory, which has been discussed by Joe Rogan, among others, is that the American lawyer and author Ingersoll Lockwood wrote 2 children's books. I don't think they were children's books. Like, I'm sorry, like, okay, the Barron's Marvelous Adventures is, I could see that as a children's book, but The Last President is not a children's book. It's literally about the last president of the United States and how this gang, which a lot of people think it could be symbolic for Antifa, basically swarms Trump Tower and, like, kills the president, you know? That's not a children's story. The Barron's Marvelous Adventures, Underground Adventures, yeah. But The Last President is not a children's story. By the way, I think there's 2 adventures that Barron went on. There's an Underground Adventure and then another one like a Marvelous Journey or something. So I think there's technically 3 Ingersoll Lockwood books that have Mike Pence in it, Donald Trump, and Barron in it. Anyways, so they were written in the 19th century, in which the title character is a wealthy boy adventurer named Wilhelm Heinrich Sebastian von Trump, or Barron Trump. The character's features in 2 novels, The Travels of the Adventures of Little Barron Trump and his wonderful dog Bulger, which, by the way, they actually have a dog who looks exactly like that dog, and his name, I think, is Bulger. I could be wrong, but I know for a fact they have a dog. Barron's dog literally is the same species as the dog and looks exactly like the dog in the novels. In Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, so that's Inner Earth Theory, Journey to the Center of the Earth, Inner Earth Theory. You guys know all about that. We've talked about it on this channel a billion times, you know. I've been around for over a decade. We've covered everything. But there's always more. Which are said to have been inspired by the taste for fantastical literature brought about by the popularity of Lewis Carroll's work, the author of Alice in Wonderland, no predictive programming, but definitely MK Ultra. Alice in Wonderland, MK Ultra. That dude was a pedophile, Lewis Carroll. And there's people that go, oh, it was art. He was taking pictures of naked little girls, 5 and 6-year-old little girls, fully nude. It was for art, though, because he loved human anatomy. No, that's child pornography. You know. In the books, Barron Trump is a precocious boy with a very active brain, autism, very active brain, who lives at Castle Trump, from which he sets out on a global trotting adventures that regularly finds him causing offense to the characters he encounters. The parallels between Lockwood's work and the MAGA era were first pointed out during President Trump's first term, but the idea that the novels are based on the real Barron Trumps travels back to the 1890s, has blossomed alongside growing interest in the man himself. Here's a picture of Barron Trump, Lockwood's work, with his dog Bulger. Tell me that don't look like Barron. And if you've ever seen the dog that they own, it's a fucking dog. I mean, when does it become a coincidence and when does it just become, a conspiracy? Another later Lockwood novel in 1900, or quote unquote, The Last President, is arguably even more prescient in that it concerns a populist outsider candidate winning a U.S. presidential election and bringing about the downfall of the republic. We are a constitutional republic. He is currently in office. Is this the last president? Because I ain't gonna lie, dude, there's times my wife comes up to me, man, and she's like, hey, I got this plans for the future. I got this plans for the future. And I'm sitting here as a friend to Bill going, dude, I'm living one day at a time. I think this is honestly, I do not see America lasting much longer. I think this is the fall of Rome. And I'm not trying to be black-pilled. I'm not trying to be a doom and gloom. But I really, dude, I see World War III coming. I see everything. It's going to be worse than the Great Depression. Everything is going to become so expensive. We are going to become like Weimar Germany. Go study Weimar Germany. People will be whoring their underage daughters out just so their family can eat. What? That happened in real life? Yeah. Go study Weimar Germany. Oh, and it's the parents too. Everyone goes out and whores. The whole joke that Doug Stanhope did of a hand job for a cheeseburger, that's based off of Weimar Germany. Go study Weimar Germany. It's going to get super fucking bad within, I think next year is going to be fucking crazy. This year's already been crazy, but nothing's affordable. Like, you literally work for nothing. It is horrible. On another recent episode of her show, Lara Trump said of the real life Barron, quote, I don't know if he knows that the internet is obsessed with him. I think he knows there's a lot of interest. They know. He knows. Because he knew about Theo Von. He's the one who turned his dad on to Theo Von. He knows. But that's why he likes to lay low. That's why he likes to play it cool. That's why you don't see him all of the time. Okay. I understand what she's saying because that is her brother-in-law. And I've always said, look, Barron cannot help that his father is a fucking piece of shit. Zionist pedophile, allegedly. He can't help that his mother is a whore. Allegedly. I mean, she used to do pornography. You can literally find old magazines of her doing lesbian scenes and shit, like photo ops and shit. She was a porn actress. I know they love to say she's a model. Like, no, dude, there's like, I've literally seen allegedly. You can see this shit. Like, it's old like old porno mags of her like going down on other girls and girls going down on her and shit. Like, go look. There's a whole rabbit hole. She's done lesbian scenes. Like, she's a porn actress. Our first lady is a porn actress, you know. Hey, and I'm not kink shaming. It is what it is. I'm a freak on the sheets, man. Like, yeah. I'm not judging because you guys know me. I don't judge here. I've done some weird shit in the bedroom. Everything's been legal, but like, I've done some weird kinky shit, man. So I'm not judging that, but I do have to say though, man, we do have to protect Barron. Do I like what his dad and his, because I've seen the left media, man. They've like literally made horrible jokes about Barron. They've bashed on Barron and then they've attacked Barron, and I'm like, that's not cool. Just because his dad is a piece of shit doesn't mean you get to make fun of him. My dad's a piece of shit. Doesn't mean you get to like make fun of me for the shit that my dad did. You know, my dad's in prison for pedophilia, dude. You know, it's not cool. It's not cool. And especially the dude being special ed. He has like autism, I believe. I think he has a touch of giantism. That ties in with Nephilim and all that jazz, but that's a whole nother fucking rabbit hole. Let's just be cool with Barron, but I do think it's funny though. Like I said, anytime like mainstream media is covering shit like, hey, this is a crazy conspiracy, you should probably look into it. I think there's something to the whole Ingersoll Lockwood, time travel, Tesla, Warner von Braun. It's crazy. Let me know what you guys think about Lara Trump talking about Barron Trump being a time traveler, and he's not one. He's not one. But let's all be nice, and let's be nicer to Barron. I mean, the dude is special education. Let's all be cool. Love y'all. Please like, share, and subscribe, and y'all have a good day.